What's good? What's good? How are you guys? So look at XRP over here. I mean, last time we did the analysis on the live, we said that we were gonna break out of this structure. Hey, what's good? What's good? How's everyone doing? Yeah, but XRP is looking pretty good. Looks like it's following the wave count that we did in the last analysis. We had a very nice breakout above this trendline liquidity, took out this trend line. Now, basically what trendline liquidity is whenever you tap a trend line many times, you try to break out of it, right? You have liquidity resting above this trend line. So you're likely to go take it out, and we did exactly that over here. And so now we did hit the 1.786 extension when we take a trend-based fib from this low up to this high and down to this pivot. You see how we came up to the 1.786? Now I would be expecting consolidation here within this region, and then to see one last push up here to the 70.2 to 78.6% fib. So now this fib resistance right over here, all I did to find that is I just took a fib from this peak here at 338 down to this low. And yeah, I would be expecting a move to, let me see here, $2.91. And then, so what I've noticed with XRP is that it likes to tap the 702 like this. It likes to come down a bit and then have a B wave up to the 786 and then come down for the C wave. Like that's what I've noticed with XRP. It tends to do a flat pattern, and your high taps the 702, you come down for an A wave, and then the B wave taps the 786. But we'll take it level for level. We'll see how this plays out. And I would be expecting a little bit more of a push to the upside right over here at the 78, right over here at 290, the 291 region. But yeah, everything is looking good so far. I mean, we can even take a look at Tel from the last analysis went up by over 40%. Had a really nice pop to the upside. Now we're above this horizontal. We were using this as resistance. Now we're back above it. So we may come down, we may consolidate a bit to any of these fibs below. Okay, so these are all of your Fibonacci support levels. We may come down to any of these fibs before continuing on higher for Tel, but so far everything is looking good. We can even take a look at Trump Coin. Trump Coin had a really nice push to the upside. We'll take a look at it on Deck Screener. So this is Trump. Congratulations to everyone who saw my video on Trump and managed to get some bids in. But yeah, Trump is looking really good. Let's take a look here. Yeah, really nice breakout. It's headed to $51 as mentioned in the Trump video that I posted. But yeah, looking pretty good. So we call the bottom on Trump. It's pretty nice. Ending diagonal within a larger falling wedge accumulation structure. Now we're headed up to the 786. Okay. This was let me see Trump. So this was Trump. This was the Trump analysis right here, and we broke out right here. So it's looking pretty good. Just joined the Discord. Great community. Nice, man. Glad you like it. Algo. Yeah, we can take a look at Algo. We'll take a look at all of the PulseChain coins as well. Healthy retrace of PulseX. Yeah, healthy retrace, bro. Let's take a look at PulseX. Now, super bullish on PulseX. I do think it's going to have a really nice breakout to the upside. Let me see here. Yeah, so this is PulseX right here. And we did find resistance here at the 78.6% fib. So I took a fib from this high over here down to this low. And you see how we rejected off this 786? Now we're just coming down for a retrace to any of these Fibonacci retracements before we continue on up. It'll come down to any of these fibs over here, but as soon as you get a 4-hour or daily closure below this 786 at 403113, then it's likely that it's going to come down to these retracements and then see the macro breakout from there. But so far, PulseX is looking very bullish. Like I said in my last video, this could either be the correction finished right here, and then this is your E wave. This is your shallow E wave, and then we see the blast off from there, right? Or if we go below this 78.6% fib at 403113, then it's likely we'll just come down a little bit more to make a new low slightly below this low, and then see the blast off from there very rapidly. But I wouldn't advise you guys to trade in and out of PulseX right now. The only reason I say that is because we're so close to the inflection point. Like, look at this macro pennant over here. We've been within this macro pennant for, let me see here, about 642 days. So almost 2 years of accumulation within this pennant. And like I said, whenever you have a pennant, this is your A, B, your C, D, and then your E wave, most people think it's going to come right back down to this trendline support. But what it does instead is it's very shallow. And then it blasts off from there and takes out all of the people who are short all the way down here, thinking it's going to come back down to this trendline support. So we may have that on our hands for PulseX, so be very careful trading in and out of it. I mean, we're currently right now in the 50% fib. When we take a fib from this low up to this high, we may come down to these retracements and then see the blast off from there, but 78.6% fib would be the invalidation level. Either way, we're going to see the breakout on PulseX. So we can even see, like, when we analyze the volume on PulseX, we do see that we are above the POC, which is the point of control. That's where more than 70%, that's where 70% or more of the volume is traded, and we're currently above it. So this is the POC right here. You see how we broke out off the POC? Like right there. We had a breakout from there. So yeah, PulseX is looking good. This is the macro count on PulseX. I do think that the top will be at around 0.4 of a penny at the 223.6% fib. When we take a fib from this all-time high down to this range low, I do think that eventually the top will come out over here. I mean, we'll take it level for level, but the more conservative targets would be from the 1.618 up to the 4.236% extension. So you want to take profits all the way up here, and then the measured technical target of this range would be sitting right here at the 1.786 when we take a fib from this high down to this low on the log scale. So from current prices, that is about a 20x. Like, if we go from the current price up to the measured technical target, that would be about a 26x, almost a 30x. So yeah, PulseX is looking good. Let's go back to XRP over here. Yeah, it's looking good. The whole market is turning up. But yeah, everything looks bullish. So is XMR okay? Yeah, for sure. Let's take a look at ETH. ETH is looking pretty good. Yeah, so ETH is turning up off of the 38.2% fib. Notice how we have this trend line right here, and we're now above it. Okay, So I would be expecting a move back up to this 200-day moving average at 29.50. And then if we take a look at this on the daily time frame, it's just what's called Wyckoff reaccumulation. So with Wyckoff reaccumulation, you tend to have sideways like price action or range bound price action at the highs. So notice how we're at the highs, but we're going sideways. And then any price action below this wedge over here would be considered your manipulation zone. And we're currently seeing a nice bounce off the 38.2% fib. So yeah, it's looking pretty good for ETH. What I would want to see here going forward is a move back above this 200-day moving average at 29.42. Then once you get a daily close above 29.42 at the 200-day, then it's very likely that ETH has bottomed out over here. I mean, we had the highest liquidation event in history in the crypto markets with this guy right here. So it wouldn't surprise me that we turn up. Yeah, looking pretty good. This is our manipulation zone. And what I'm thinking is this could be a wave 1. You come down for a WXY correction for your wave 2. And now we're turning up for your wave 3 to the upside. Now, this wave 3, like, we're going to be heading towards this 200-day moving average. But I would be expecting some resistance here at the 50% fib and the 61.8% fib. So at 31.24 and 33.53. But remember, as soon as you get above this 200-day moving average, I would say that the correction is done. Because if you look at how long we've been within this reaccumulation structure, we've been within it for about almost a year. So almost a year going sideways at the highs. And that's pure reaccumulation before we have that fifth wave to the upside, which would likely take us around the $7,000 to $9,000 region, with the possibility of us having a wick to around the 10,300 level. But yeah, this is ETH. It's just doing reaccumulation, and I think the market makers know that ETH is bottom, so they're just front running on the PulseChain ecosystem. But yeah, this is ETH. It's looking pretty good. Thoughts on LDO? Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that that super chat. Yeah, we'll take a look at LDO. Good morning, Mina. Hope you're doing well. You think KDA could hit $6 in the coming weeks? Yeah. Let's take a look at LDO, API3, and then KDA. Okay. So we'll take a look at LDO. So LDO is really bullish. Notice how well we're holding above this 200-day moving average. We actually have a triple tap of this 200-day, and it looks exactly like Litecoin. So if we take a look at Litecoin, you see how we have reaccumulation, and then we double tap the 200-day moving average, and then we also come down to this trendline resistance that we've been using since 2022 as support. You see how we double tap this trendline resistance as support? And then we also had a wick off this 200-day moving average. Notice how fast we got bought up over here. So it makes me think that all of the market makers, their bids were over here at this 200-day. They were just waiting for a sweep of this range low. Hence why we had such a nice rise from this level. Now, when we take a fib from this high down to this low on Litecoin, we are finding a little resistance on the 786, but ultimately, I do expect LDO to follow in the footsteps of Litecoin, considering it's pretty much the same structure that we have here. Right? Here's your reaccumulation. Instead of doing a double tap of the 200-day, we did a triple tap of the 200-day. Right? But I would ultimately expect a move above this trendline resistance here, and this would be considered your trendline liquidity. So this is your trendline lick right there. I expect to move above that, above this resistance, and then what we can do to find the next target is we can take a fib from this swing high over here down to this low, and take a look at all of these fibs here on the linear scale. But yeah, I expect to move to the 1.618. And notice how when we take a fib from the all-time high right here down to this low on the linear scale, look where the 786 is. It's right there around that 1.618 region when we take a fib from this swing high down to this low. So there's lots of confluence of the next target being 594, which would from current prices be about a 220% gain. And then once the price gets up, like I do think LDO will make a new all-time high above this high here at $7. But the next point of interest would be here at 594, right here, 569 to 594 level. So about a 226% gain from the current price. I mean, it's been within this reaccumulation structure, this smaller reaccumulation structure for about going on 70 days now. So yeah, do we expect a nice pop up on LDO? Let's take a look at the MACD here on LDO. And yeah, it's turning up here. Kind of have some bullish divergence. We have a lower low, but a equal low on the price. And you see the MACD is turning up towards the histogram. Now this is the daily MACD. So remember, whenever high time frame always takes precedence over the lower time frame. So yeah, this is LDO, pretty bullish on LDO considering we've been holding above this 200-day moving average very well. It's almost as if like the composite operator or the market maker is keeping their bids here, preventing it from going back down below this 200-day. Almost like Kava, right? Like when we take a look at Kava, you see how it double tapped this 200-day moving average and it still hasn't gotten below. This would be considered your trendline lick right here. And we're likely to see that push up soon. And I'm sure that the next move here on Kava and LDO will be extremely explosive considering we have a nice power of 3 setup. Okay, so let's take a look at KDA. Because I know one of the members was asking about KDA. Okay, yeah, so almost 3 years of accumulation, Wyckoff accumulation schematic, and yeah, $7 within like 2 to 3 weeks. It's definitely possible because here's the thing with Wyckoff. Once this spring comes in, like once you move back down to the range lows like this, the move up is extremely explosive. Now, we have the exact same thing with Cake, right? Like when we take a look at Cake, after this spring came in at the range lows, look how fast it popped up here. Now we're just seeing a little bit of consolidation here before we continue our move to the upside. So you can kind of look at Cake like a front runner of what the rest of the market is going to do, because this Cake structure over here it's not really any different than what we have on KDA, right? We have our accumulation structure for almost 3 years, right? If we take a look at KDA, see, same thing. Sideways accumulation at the lows for almost 3 years. The only thing that it hasn't done is had that huge pop to the upside, but it's working its way up. So it wouldn't surprise me that within a few weeks that $7 target gets hit. Maybe like 2 to 4 weeks it'll happen. Like I'm sure it'll be very explosive. I think the whole market is going to see a nice push up considering ETH is extremely oversold. Right? But yeah, KDA is going to do very well. LDO is going to do good. Vechain. Yeah, sure. I'll take a look at Vechain. Oh yeah, and API3. Hbar, please, and also price targets till March. I appreciate that, Nima. Appreciate that super chat. We'll take a look at Hbar for sure. Can you do Dome on PulseChain? Yeah, sure. No problem. Okay. So we'll take a look at API3. And same thing with API3. API3 looks like it's already done its spring. Now we're slowly grinding our way to the upside. We had a wick fill right down to the 618 over here, and now we're making higher lows. So we went from making lower lows and lower highs. Now we're making higher lows and higher highs. You see? I mean, if the whole market were to just flush, it would probably come down to take out this trendline liquidity and then see a pop up from there. But so far, it's looking good. We came down to the 618 here, and now we're seeing our move to the upside. So you can consider this move like your spring. And then this move over here would be your test. And now we're coming up for our last point of support before we have our SOS phase. So we'll go on the daily time frame for API3. And so far, it's still following Wyckoff accumulation schematic number 1. And after the spring, the rise is very rapid. It doesn't give most people time to react. I know a lot of people are still short here. People are still short the market after we had such a move like that. You have to be very careful holding on to a bias for too long, because the market doesn't like to stay in one position for too long. Especially when you have a move like this, right? We've come down from the highs here at 487, about 85.9%, so almost 86% we dropped here. I doubt it continues to go lower than this. When you have an 86% drop from this major swing high, it would be very dangerous to short. Right? You would want to start looking for longs at that point. But yeah, API3 is still looking healthy. It's still looking good. This would be considered your spring. This is your test. And now we should see a move back up to the median of this range, would be sitting at 173. As soon as you get above, so what we can do is take a fib from this swing high down to this swing low. Take a look at all of these fibs here. Once you get above this 50% fib, then that would be considered your last point of support before we finally have that expansion out of this 3-year long accumulation range. And then this would be your TP1, TP2, and TP3. Now, the thing with API3 is that it hasn't really experienced a bull market before. So that's why I have high hopes for this coin, because considering it hasn't experienced a bull market, it did experience a little bit of a bull market, but it was very fast and we went into a correction after. After considering it hasn't seen the bull market, and because it's been within this accumulation for almost 3 years, it wouldn't surprise me that the move up will be extremely explosive, right? Within this sideways accumulation, you have a lot of retail traders thinking it's a dead coin because it hasn't really done much. It's just been oscillating back and forth. But when you have a schematic that you can follow, everything becomes much easier to understand. But yeah, this is API3. It's looking really good. And yeah. Vechain. All right, let's take a look at Vechain. Okay, so Vechain is still bullish. Let's take a look here at my analysis that I did for the members. Yeah, so perfect ABC correction right down to the 100% fib. So what we can do is take a trend-based fib on Vechain from the top of our A to the bottom of our A and up to the top of our B. Notice how we had a move down to the 100% fib. So this is a C wave extension, and usually you get that in crypto. Usually whenever you have an ABC in crypto, the C wave tends to hit the 100%, 1.236, and 1.382 extension. Once you hit those three extensions, most of the downside move is likely already done. Notice how we also came down to tap this reaccumulation region, or we came down to tap this accumulation region as support. So you see how we were accumulating here back in August to November for 92 days. With this ABC correction, you see how we came down to tap this region here as support. And then what we can also do for Vechain is take a fib from this November low up to this high that we had here in December. You see how it came down to the 786, or it came just shy of the 786. So like I say in most of my videos, when you come down to the 786, that's usually where you see the reversal. And we had that wick fill right down to the 702, and now we're seeing the pop up again here. Go on the 4-hour time frame, and yeah, it's looking good. It's looking pretty good here so far. What I would want to see here going forward is, and also we're above the 200-day moving average. That's something to also be very mindful of. We're back above the 200-day moving average. So yeah, I would just be expecting chop within this region, and then a slow grind to the upside. What we can also do is take a fib from the top of our A, so from the top of our correction down to the low, to find all the retracement levels. As soon as you get above this 618 over here, you're pretty much off to the races. Like, you know for sure it's gonna take out this high. Like, once you get to this 50 and 61.8% fib, you can say that, oh, okay, yeah, the correction is done here. And then when we take a look here on the daily time frame, these would be your TP levels. I expect a nice grind to the upside towards 21 cent, around 19 to 21 cent, which would be the 702 and the 786 when we take a fib from the all-time high down to the bear market low. So I would be expecting some consolidation here, some profit taking to go on to take place. But then eventually, after that consolidation finishes, we would likely see a move above the last all-time high. Okay. Now, for the take profit targets, when we get above this 786 here at 22 cent, we would be taking a look at 43 cent and 69 to 94 cent as your peak. So the thing with Vechain is we haven't really had the third leg yet, right? This was our first leg in the whole market structure of Vechain, right? After your first leg, after your parabolic advance, you're gonna have a correction. This was our correction right here. Okay? But where's our third leg? Our third leg is not complete yet. So we still need to have this third leg, right? And we're likely going to have that, considering that we had such a violent move to the downside and a move down to this 786 here. But yeah, Vechain looks good. No significant changes from the last analysis. It's turning up really nice here. What I really like to see here on Vechain is that it's holding above this 200-day moving average. You see this 200-day? I'll make it thicker so you guys can see. See how we're holding above it? So yeah, Vechain looks pretty good. I'm thinking this is your wave 1. This is your wave 2 down to the 702. We saw a pop back above this resistance. And now we see a move back testing the 200-day SMA before we continue on higher. Likely towards the 38.2% fib at 0.047. Okay, but yeah, Vechain looks pretty good. QNT. You guys love QNT. Yeah, we'll take a look at QNT, no problem. Okay. Oh, Hbar. Yeah, so let's take a look at Hbar here. And let me see. Yeah, so Hbar looks good. We had a nice flat pattern, a 3-wave move down for your A. 3-wave move up for your B, and then a 5-wave move to the downside for your C. You can even consider this like a WXY correction with a 3-wave move within each of the waves here. We had your huge wick, saw your automatic rally, and then came down to fill the wick right down to the 61.8% fib. Okay. But yeah, this is Hbar. I would be expecting a move to around 75 cents to $1. And all I did to find these targets is I just took a fib from this December high down to our expected low here. So I would be expecting a slow grind up to this region right here. This green region that I marked out. Now this is the macro wave count on Hbar. So I'm thinking it's just a leading diagonal. Notice how we have an ascending channel, 3-wave move within each of the waves. And then what we can also do to find confluence for our targets is we can take a fib from the all-time high back in 2021 down to the bear market low. Look where the 1.618 and 1.786 is. Around that same region, right? That around the same region as these major fibs. Right? So we have a lot of confluence around this level, 75 cent to $1.10 region, with the possibility of us having a little bit of an overthrow to this level right here. But you would mainly want to look to take profits as we approach this region, as we approach this high. And then you don't want to sell it all. Never sell it all, right? Always keep some coins aside. Never be 100% sure on your bias, because you can always have a throw over, and that's where you would sell. That's where you would sell the rest. So you take profit here, not financial advice, and then hold some coins just in case it comes to these fibs over here. But so far Hbar looks good. We had a nice WXY correction, and what I would want to see here going forward for Hbar is for price to hold above 20 cent. So this over here would be our invalidation level, right here, inval. Okay. But yeah, Hbar looks good. Like I said, Cake, we can look towards the coins that have front run, right? When we take a look at Cake, this was your huge wick, right? This was your suicide wick, and then we had a move up. This was your descending channel, like that, and then we saw that parabolic advance. Same thing for all the other coins from the lows. This was your huge wick over here, making people want to jump off a cliff. We had your advance, your first advance. Then we had now we have a descending channel, and now all we're waiting for is that parabolic advance to the upside. We can always take a look towards the coins that are front running the market to see what the rest of the market is going to do, right? But yeah, Hbar looks good. Looks really good. We can go to CoinTrader Pro. I think I have another chart another chart here on Hbar. Yeah, I think okay, yeah, I think it's on the black chart here. Let me see. But yeah, I think I deleted the analysis, but yeah, Hbar looks good, and I noticed something here on the MACD. Notice how this daily MACD is slowly turning up here. The histogram is turning up towards the 0 line, and then looks like as long as Hbar, continues its ascent from here, from this region, then this daily MACD should cross. It should cross bullish. And whenever you have a daily MACD cross while it's still under the 0 line, so this is the 0 line right here. This is the 0 line, like around that level. So if this crosses while it's still under the 0 line and the histogram is turning up, then that's very bullish, extremely bullish. It means that we're we're going to have that breakout and expansion to the upside. But yeah, that's Hbar. Everything, Hbar is looking good. We'll go back to XRP here just to see what it's doing right now. Yeah, looking pretty good. Thanks, Mohammed. Appreciate that, bro. EHEX. Yeah, we'll take a look at the... where would you put a bag? Algo or Ondo? Okay. Yeah, so I'd put a bag in I'd put a bag in both of them, Algo and Ondo. Hard to... So Ondo is looking really bullish. Notice how it came back down to this 200-day moving average. Or sorry, this is Algo. It came back down to this 200-day moving average right here. Like I said in the last live stream, Algo is super clear to me on where it's going to be headed, because we can also take a look at the Wyckoff accumulation schematic here. After your LPS, so after you have this chop mid-range, you have a breakout, a rapid rise, or in other words, a jump across the creek. This is your creek right here. You see how we're creaking down to mid-range? And then we have your jump across the creek for your SOS. After this now in this SOS, everyone puts their life savings in the coin, because they're thinking, oh, okay, yeah, it broke out of the accumulation range, it's going to continue on higher. But the composite operator knows that there's enough liquidity here for them to exit and then rebuy on the back up. So the backup phase is a retest of this accumulation range before we have continuation higher. Now, once we get down to this backup phase, a lot of the people that bought over here are thinking it's going to continue on lower. But the exact opposite happens. Right? So now look here. This was our creek down to mid-range, or a little bit, or right down to the 886, and then we had a rapid rise, breaking out of the accumulation range for your sign of strength, and then you have an ABC down to the top of your range for your backup in LPS. And we also came down to the 200-day moving average. So it wouldn't surprise me that Algo sees a really nice push to the upside. And yeah, same thing with all the other coins, right? This was your low. You had your first advance, a descending channel, and now we're having a continuation move to the upside. I would be expecting the next leg. So these are all of the Fibonacci retracement levels right here. I would be expecting the next leg to take us to 37 to 41 cent. And then once you get above this 50% fib, then we can for sure say, oh, okay, yeah, our ABC correction is done and we're going to continue on higher. For our fifth wave, of our third wave, or our C wave. Now this fifth wave would likely take us to $1 to $1.37. So around this region is where I would be expecting Algo to come to. And you're gonna want to take profits here, not financial advice. Take profits here from 97 cent, like ladder out up to $1.45. Because that would be the 702 and the 786 when we take a fib from our all-time high down to our bear market low. Okay, then we'd likely come down for a wave 4 before having our wave 5 to the upside. Now, there's no guarantee that this wave 5 will happen where we see a move above the last all-time high. That's why I'm saying don't be afraid to ladder out as price reaches these levels here. Okay, now this is one way to find the TP targets, taking a fib from the last all-time high down to the bear market low. But what you can also do is take a fib from this swing high in December before we had the crash down to what we think is our low. And we see that the 2.618 is right there around this region. So whenever you have confluence with the fibs, then you're likely to see a pivot there, right? You just ladder out as we approach this level, approach this region, and then don't sell all of it. Keep some algo aside just in case we have that fifth wave blow off top towards 350 to 464. But yeah, so far algo looks good. It's really clear to me. We'll take a look at Ondo. I know I made a video on Ondo saying how bullish it was. And yeah, it's just printing a bull flag right here. You see this bull flag? I expect a rapid rise as long as we can hold this low. You see how we came from the lows very rapidly in a very impulsive move to the upside? So I'm thinking this is your wave 1. This is your wave 2. And we're about to have our wave 3 to the upside. This initial advance is very similar to what happened with shit. I forgot what the coin was called here. Let me see. Let me see here on what I'm watching section. Oh yeah, same thing as Tel. So when we take a look at Tel, you see how we came from the lows here very rapidly. We had a straight impulsive move to the upside. Then we had consolidation, and then we saw the next leg. Okay, now same thing here with Ondo. We had our low, we had a rapid rise to the upside, we have consolidation, now we're just awaiting our next leg. So yeah, I think Ondo is next to go. I know Trump is interested, like the Trump team, World Liberty Finance, they're interested in this coin. I think they were buying some. You have your 5-wave move up for your wave 1, right? WXY for your wave 2. And now it looks like we're working on our wave 5 of our third wave to the upside, which would likely take us to around the $4 to $6 region. We would have a wave 4 from there. And once you have this wave 3 to $4 to $6, there's going to be a lot of people thinking that's the macro top. But it's likely will just come down maybe 23.6 to 50% of the way down before having that next push to the upside. I mean, we'll see how the levels play out. Level for level, we'll analyze. But so far, Ondo looks pretty good. We're within a bullish descending broadening wedge, and within that broadening wedge, we have a smaller accumulation structure that we're likely to break out of. And then these are all of your Fibonacci retracement levels. Bullish invalidation would be for us to see a move back below this 70.2% fib at $1.10. So we'll call this our inval. What is the most safe 10x in your opinion, Richard Hart coins or another? I mean, Richard Hart coins, they're considered like a lottery. They're considered like lottery coins as it is. I know a lot of people are fully in the Richard Hart ecosystem, like they're all in. So I think the most safe 10x, I would say PulseX. I'm very bullish on PulseX. I actually took part of the sacrifice stage about 2-3 years ago. I think it was maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah, we'll take a look at Degan for sure. Let's take a look at Degan. I know you were asking about Degan in the Discord. I'll take a look at Degan for sure. So let's take a look at Degan wave count here, and we'll see where this thing could go. I'm just trying to find the coin with the most history here. So this is Degan, and look where we came down to. We came down to the 78.6% fib. So when we take a fib from this low here in August 2024 up to this high, we did come down to this 786. Okay, so already we can see by the fibs that we are oversold. Let's take a look at the RSI here on Degan. And we do have some hidden bullish divergence. We have a higher low, a slight higher low, but we have a lower low on the RSI. Now this is the daily RSI. Notice how the daily RSI came down into, it tapped into this oversold region below 30. And now we're seeing that nice push to the upside. This looks like a wave 1, a wave 2, 3, 4, and then your fifth wave, with the fifth wave topping out at the 100% fib, and then we come down for an ABC correction right down to the 78.6% fib, a very deep ABC correction. And then we can consider this level as our invalidation level for the bullish count. Inval. Okay. For the next targets, we'd be taking a look. So what we can do to find the next target is take a trend-based fib from the bottom of our wave 1 to the top of our wave 1 and down to the bottom of our wave 2. I would be expecting a move to the 100% fib and up to the 123.6% fib. So a move to around this level, as long as this low can hold. I'd be expecting a move up here. And then to find confluence, what we can do is take a fib from the all-time high down to the low and see if there's any confluence here with the fibs. And yeah, you see where this 1.618 is? That's right there at our 1.236 region. So yeah, I expect Degan to do very well. These would be all of your Fibonacci retracement levels. If you're trading this on the small time frame, like futures trading, these would be all of your Fibonacci retracements. As soon as you get above this 23.6% fib, then it's likely that this ABC correction is done, because that's a pretty high move for Degan to be heading to. I mean, once you get over this level, then we can say, oh, okay, this was your wave 2, this was your wave 1, this was your wave 2, and now we're coming up for our third wave. But yeah, this is what I see for Degan. EX, yeah, we'll take a look at EX and then we'll take a look at Jasmi for sure. Flare, yep. Yeah, most safe 10x is PulseX for sure. I would say that. I actually think that I actually think that Richard Hart's favorite coin out of all of the coins is PulseX. Oh, I appreciate that, Takala. Thank you, man. Yeah, I'll take a look at DGB for sure. Okay, yeah, so DGB and Jasmi we'll take a look at, and then we'll take a look at EHEX. Okay, so this is Jasmi. So now Jasmi is still bullish. Like from the last live I did, nothing has changed. It just I would say this is your wave 4, and now we're working on our wave 5 to the upside, right? So like zooming out all the way from 2022, right? Wave 1, wave 2, this is your third wave. This is your fourth, and now this is a wave 1, 2 of our fifth wave to the upside. And we would consider this our inval. This would be your inval of your count. Going below this level, it wouldn't be a cause for concern, because it would just mean that this would be, oh, okay, this is your A, B, and this would probably be your C wave, and then your fourth wave would be something like that. But so far, as long as this level holds, we should be good for a move to the upside. Okay. WXY correction. 3-wave move down in your W, 3-wave move up in your X, and then another 3-wave move down within your Y. And then this would be your first wave to the upside. So 1, 2, right? Something like that. This is your wave 1 of your fifth wave, your wave 2 of your fifth wave, and now we're coming up for our wave 3 of our fifth wave. These are all the Fibonacci retracement levels for your resistance. As soon as we get above this 38.2% fib at 0.0344, then it's likely that this correction is done, and then we're headed up for the rest of your wave 5 targets, which would be at 11 to 27 cent. We have this monthly order block here, and yeah, Jasmi looks pretty good. Wave 1, 2, your third wave, fourth, and now we would come up for a fifth. To find your fifth wave, we can take a trend-based fib from the bottom of 1 to the top of 3 and down to the bottom of our wave 4. Lots of confluence here at that 11 to 14 cent region. Jasmi. Yeah, this is Jasmi here. Yeah, so next target for Jasmi would be 11 to 14 cent. 14 cent because when we that would be the 786 when we use our trend base fib, and then that 11 to 12 cent level because that's the 50% fib when we take a fib from the all-time high down to the low. So the next target for Jasmi, I would be expecting a move to around 11 to 14 cent. It would make sense as long as this low can hold here. See this low? Right here? Looks pretty good. And yeah, DGB for sure. Let's take a look at DGB. Super bullish on DGB, guys. Super bullish. We actually never made a new low here. We never made a new low. We just came down. So I'm thinking this would be your, we just came down to the retracement, so this would be your wave 2. This would be your wave 1, and then this is your wave 2. Yeah, like this. Nice ABC correction right down to the 78.6% fib. Now, we could take a fib from this low here back in November before the like right when the run was starting for altcoins up to this high. Notice how we had a nice ABC down to the 786. Almost 3 years of accumulation at the lows. This over here was your spring, which is this guy right here. And then we had a move up. Then we had a test. This was your test. And now we're continuing. We're likely going to have expansion with the rest of the market. We would be targeting the 4 to 5 cent region for our TP1. The 7 to 8 cent region for our TP2, and then 11 to 14 cent for our TP3. I do think that DGB will hit this TP3. I do think it's gonna tap this level. But you don't want to sell all your DGB there, because there is a possibility that it goes ahead and takes out the last all-time high. These are just very conservative targets to be mindful of. But yeah, DGB looks very healthy. I really like how it never made a new low here. So this is what what I'm expecting is for us to have the impulsive wave 3 to the upside. This is your wave 1, right? This is your wave 1. This is your ABC for your wave 2 coming down to the 78.6% fib. Now we're going to have our wave 3 up. And that wave 3 would likely be expansion out of this 3-year long accumulation range, right to that 4 to 5 cent region for our TP1. Now all I did to find these TP targets is I just took a fib from the highest recorded price within the range down to the low, and then I look at all the major fibs on the linear scale. And then what you can also do to find confluence is just take a fib from the last all-time high down to the low. And then you place boxes to find those take profit regions. But yeah, we already had the test back down to the extremes. And what's very significant is that it never made a new low. Let's take a look here at the RSI. Let's take a look at it here. Yeah, it's looking good. What I would want to see here on DGB going forward is a daily close back above this 200-day moving average at 0.009. As soon as we get that daily close above the 200-day, then we can for sure say, oh, okay, this is your ABC down for your wave 2. But yeah, I would be expecting the next impulsive leg up to start. We can also take a trend-based fib from the bottom of our expected wave 1 to the top of our expected wave 1 and down to the bottom of our counter trend. And look where your 1.236, 1.382 is, right there at TP1. So this is probably a third wave pivot. We would come down for a wave 4 and then have our wave 5 up to TP2 and TP3. But yeah, looking pretty good so far on DGB. Flare. Yeah, we'll take a look at Flare for sure. So this is Flare. And we'll take a look at it on the BitTrue chart because it has the most history. And I'm going to show you this Flare chart with all of the take profit targets. Before I delve into the targets, I want to point out that Flare came back down to this 200-day moving average right here. So if we put the 200-day moving average on our chart, look how it came back down to it. And we also came down to the 70.2% fib when we take a fib from our November low up to our December high. You see how we came down to the 702 and we came just shy of hitting the 786. Triple tap the 200-day moving average. I would be expecting more chop, like chop within this region before we have that next leg to the upside. So yeah, this is the estimated trajectory for Flare. And yeah, these are the TP targets. You'd want to look to take profit at around the 11 to 12 cent region, the 18 to 19 cent region, and then the 25 to 30 cent level. You for sure, like, I think that Flare is going to hit 30 cent. I don't have any doubts on Flare hitting 30 cent. The reason for that is because we can take a fib from our February high down to this low. And the 4.236% extension is right there at 29.30 cent. 3.618 is at 25 cent. What we can also do is take a fib from this high here in August before we had that huge capitulation move down. And the 786 is right there at 26 cent. Okay. And then when we use our trend-based fib to this, from the bottom of our trend to the top of our trend and down to the counter trend, the 1.382 is at 27 cent. So yeah, around this level is where I would be expecting a top to come in. It may be a local top, but regardless, you want to take profits all the way up. So 11 to 12, 18 to 19, and then 25 to 30 cent. So I hope that... Now, this can either be an ABC to the upside, like this could be your A, your B, and then your C, or it could be your wave 1, 2, 3, come down for a wave 4, and then have one more push to the upside. We'll see level for level how the structure plays out, but it's super, like, it's very crucial to take profits as we approach these fib levels for Flare. But yeah, Flare looks really good. Let's take a look at the RSI on Flare. Let's see if we notice anything here. Hidden bullish, or do we have any divergence here? Well, we have a higher low, but we have an equal low on the RSI. So that's Class C bullish divergence. So it looks pretty good. Next target on Flare is 7 to 8 cent at the 78.6% fib retracement when we use our trend-based fib from our October low. But yeah, 7 to 8 cent is where I would be expecting next on Flare. KAIA? Yeah, sure. XCN. Everyone is crazy about XCN. I know it did front run the market as well. Litecoin. We'll take a look at Litecoin. We actually just took a look at Litecoin. Super bullish on Litecoin, guys. It came down to double tap the 200-day moving average. We have 68 days of reaccumulation. We had a wick fill down to the 38.2% fib, and now look where we're above. We're above the 786 on Litecoin at 127. Now, remember what I said. Once you get above the 786, it's almost a guarantee that you'll get above the highs. So considering we're above the 786 here, I would just be expecting consolidation and continuation higher. Your bearish scenario in which we continue on lower to make a new low is invalidated simply because we're above the 786 now. So I would be expecting, like I said in the first live, I would be expecting continuation up this month on Litecoin. This is the weekly time frame. Next target on Litecoin would be at $330 at the 78.6% fib, which you guys should be taking profit there, not financial advice. And then save some Litecoin aside for this third tap of this historical trendline resistance. So 495 to 635 is where I would be expecting for a potential peak to come in. And for your interim point of interest, that would be sitting at 330. But super bullish on Litecoin. BitConnect. Wasn't that coin a scam, like a scam? No problem. Thank you so much, Sal. I appreciate that. Okay, yeah, sure. We'll take a look at Gala, but I know one guy here, he was asking for KAIA. So we'll take a look at this coin and then we'll take a look at Gala. Okay, this is Gala. Or sorry, no, this is KAIA. And not much history on this coin. Let me see here. Okay, so now one thing I like about this coin is that it swept this low. And this could potentially be an ABC correction down. Let me see if there's more history here. KAIA. Or we'll take a look here on on Deck Screener. Is this it? No, okay, yeah, it looks like a... Okay, yeah, so what we see here, this is your wave 1, wave 2, your 3rd, 4th, and then you have an extension of the 5th wave, with the 5th wave coming towards the 1.382. And then what we have over here looks to be like a move all the way back down to the range lows. So this may be your A, your B, and then we come up for a C wave like that. And then for all of the take profit targets for KAIA, you would just want to take a look at the retracement levels. So we'd mainly be taking a look at this region. And then we can also take a look at the extensions. Okay, so these two regions right here. Boom and boom. Okay, that's KAIA. And then we can go on the hourly time frame. And yeah, this is what I see. I expect a relief rally up towards the 23.6% fib at 18 cent. I also really like how it came down to this 618702 level. So yeah, it looks pretty good. Looks very oversold. Then we'll take a look at Gala. I appreciate that, Joe Deb. Yeah, we'll take a look at Spell for sure. OGN, Cake on the STF. Yeah, we'll take a look at EX. Okay. This is EX. Okay, so this is the daily time frame on EHEX. We have a clear 5-wave move to the upside. Then it looks like we had an ABC correction down to the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement level. Then after we had this bottom, we rallied up towards the 70.2% Fib at 0.0046. Now, we may see some consolidation over here. So what we can do is we can take a Fib from this low up to this high. And I'll make it in red so you guys can see. These are all of your Fibonacci retracement levels. You see how right now we're on the 38.2% Fib? And if we go below the 786 at 0.0024, then it's likely this correction is not done. But that's okay. We would just bounce at any of the fibs below this level, below 0.0019. But yeah, these are all of your Fibonacci support levels. And we can confirm the breakout on EHEX when we get above this yellow region at the 70.2 to 78.6% retracement level. So once you get above these two levels, then we can for sure say that our wave 2 is in, right over here. And then these are all of this is the trajectory of EHEX and your take profit levels. So a 3-wave move up for your A, 3-wave move down for your B, and now we should have a 5-wave move to the upside for your C wave. These are all of your take profit levels and then your risky targets over here. But yeah, EHEX looks good. EHEX looks good because we had such a nice bounce here off the 618. So it's very likely that this wave 2 is already in. Now all we want to see here going forward for EHEX is a move above this yellow region and for us to hold above this 786 at 0.002. Let's take a look at Gala. Gala's looking great. Came down just shy of tapping the 88.6% Fib. We had a nice wick fill up to the 61.8% Fib. Or sorry, down to the 618. Right over here. Oh yeah, down to the 50. So if we go on the 3-hour time frame, same thing, right? It's looking good. When we go on the 3-day time frame, pure Wyckoff accumulation. Yeah, I would be expecting expansion out of this range. Our first take profit target for the expansion would be sitting at 13 cent. I expect 13 to 20 cent to get hit on Gala. So about a 10x from here. Yeah, Gala looks really good. I really like how it's held here. This was your ABC correction down. Your A, your B, and then your C wave. C wave terminates at the 786 and the 1.236% extension when we measure the C wave. And like I said, the C waves in crypto, they tend to be extended towards the 100% fib all the way up to the 1.382. And in this case, we hit the 1.236. And yeah. Now sometimes you can't put Elliott wave on everything, because you got to remember Elliott wave it can be very subjective, right? So that's why I always stress the importance of learning other theories, for example with Wyckoff, because sometimes Elliott wave guys, they may not see something that the Wyckoff guys do, and vice versa. Or like learning different theories so you're never really blindsided by the market, right? But I would be expecting expansion out of this range for Gala, and then here are all the Fibonacci retracement levels for Gala. So we could just take a fib from our December high down to our low, and then this over here would be all of your retracement levels. We're already above the 23.6% fib. I would be expecting a move to the 38.2% fib and the 50% fib at 0.0335. Let's take a look at the 200-day moving average. Yeah, so I would be expecting a move back up to this 200-day. Almost 1,000 days of accumulation. And bulls don't want to see a move back down below this low in order for our bullish bias to hold true. Yeah, Gala looks really good. Cake continuation. Theta, if you have time, yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. We'll take a look at Theta, no problem. And yeah, we'll take a look at Cake. We'll take a look at Cake and then we'll do Theta. Okay, so we'll do the wave count on Cake, but take this wave count with a grain of salt, because we're gonna have to alter these waves as the price develops. We'll alter the waves as the price develops in the Discord. So if you want to stay updated on that, then click the link in the description below to join. Remember that Elliott wave is not down to a science, hence why we have to alter the waves as price continues on. But so far, this looks like a wave 1, your wave 2, and it actually still looks like we're in a wave 3, then we would have a wave 4, and then wave 5, and then one moment guys, one sec. Sorry, someone was at my door. My apologies, but yeah, this is it looks like we're still within our wave 3 on Cake. So this would be your wave 1, your wave 2, your wave 3, 4, and then we're gonna have a wave 5 like this. So remember, this is just an estimated trajectory. So yeah, this is where I'd be expecting this third wave to land. Now we can take a fib from this high in December down to the low. And we did come up to this 618. So yeah, a move to 380 from here. As long as we can get above this 50% fib at $2.91, then I'm sure that we would have that move up to 380. And then we would come down for a wave 4. And then you'd have your wave 5 to the upside. Now this would probably be your, now this wave 5, it may be extended like that. Maybe an extension of the 5th. Yeah, so around this region, the $10 to $12 region. And then that would also be the 618 when we take a fib from the all-time high down to the low. You see where the 618 is? Right there at 10. $10 to $14 is where I would be expecting, around this region. You can also take a look at this on the linear scale. Look where the 23.6% fib is at $11. And then when we take a look at the Cake market cap chart, look where the 786 is on the log scale. Right there at 3.6 billion, which would be sitting at $12 on the USD pair. But yeah, expecting some nice moves on Cake. Sui. Okay, we'll take a look at Cake. Theta. So this is Theta, and it's doing really well, really nice. So in my last live stream, I think we called the bottom here on the last live stream, and I did say we would see a move up to at least $1.67. It looks like we're headed there now. Okay, yeah. Theta is looking really good. I really like how we had our bottom here. We had our initial advance, and then we came all the way back down to the 786. I really like that. And then we see a bounce and then continuation. But this is the daily time frame on Theta. Really nice ABC correction to the downside. And Yeah. This is the macro chart of Theta. We're still making higher lows and higher highs. We've been under this resistance for about 610 days, and then we had the breakout, come back down to backtest the range as support before we have continuation up for our TP1, which would likely be sitting at the $9.40 to $12 region. So this would be your TP1. Then you have your TP2 at around 19 to 27. And then your TP3 would be this trend line, this 2.618. When we take a fib from this high, from the all-time high down to the bear market low, the 2.618 is at 39. So yeah, I do expect some really nice gains on Theta. I think the correction is done. And the market is just slowly grinding its way to the upside. We already have some coins front running, right? Like for example, Cake or Tell. Really nice move up from the lows as well. Like look at this. Really nice. We had our wick over here. Initial advance, move down to the 786. You have another push up, move down to the 702, and then continuation. We also came down to the 78.6% retracement. So if we take a fib from this low in August up to this high, look where we came down. We came down to the 786. So it wouldn't surprise me this is the low. And now we're seeing that grind to the upside. But yeah, Theta looks good. No worries. I have no worries on Theta. I think it's really going to perform well. And same thing that I mentioned for one of the other coins, right? We had our first leg in the market. This was your first leg. And whenever you have your first leg in the market structure, it makes sense to come down for your second leg, which would be your bear market. But where is our third leg? We still need to have that. So, yeah, I think the run is just starting, really. The run to the upside is just starting here. But yeah, this is Theta. I think the bottom is in. And we should see a move back up to the 200-day moving average sitting at 167. Okay, Sui and OGN. Okay. Let's take a look at OGN. OGN, I really like this structure. Really nice. Looks like Wyckoff accumulation. Let's see if we have more history here. Okay, so it's the same chart. And remember what I said, whenever you see price moving sideways at the lows, just place 3 horizontal lines on the chart. That's all you have to do. And then this is your Wyckoff accumulation range. Right. We've been within this range for about 930 days, so about 1,000 days of accumulation at the lows, very similar to a lot of the other coins in the market. And we also have a sweep of these two lows over here. We can take a fib from the highest recorded price in the range down to the low, and we'll take a look at all of these fibs here. Okay, here you go. This is where I would be expecting OGN to go. This is your TP1. Your TP2. And then your TP3 right here. Yeah, that's good. TP1, TP2, and then TP3. Yeah, this is OGN. 41 to 45 cent, 63 to 73 cent, and then 86 to a dollar. 86 cent to a dollar. And then you're going to want to save some coins aside just in case it pushes up to the 786, which would be sitting at $1.43. Then if you want, you can hold a moon bag just in case it breaches the all-time high. But so far, these would be the major TP targets for OGN. We've been within Wyckoff accumulation for going a little bit over 900 days. And we just see a move back down to the range lows similar to that of every coin. What I would want to see here going forward for OGN is for these lows to hold at 0.06. And the next short-term point of interest would be this 200-day moving average at 0.097. But so far, OGN looks pretty good. We can take a look at Sui over here. And Sui is bullish. Notice how it came back down to the 200-day moving average. We have our ABC correction right over here. This was your ABC correction down. I really like how he came down to this 200-day moving average. That's something that that's very noteworthy. So we still need to have a wave 5 here for Sui. This is just the estimated trajectory. We're going to have to alter these waves as the price develops in the Discord. But yeah, this is Sui. And then right? Or this could be your 5 waves up here. This is your wave 4 before we have a wave 5. Like that. So this would be your wave 1, your wave 2, your third, fourth, and then you have a fifth wave up like that. That makes more sense. That makes so much more sense. And then for the targets, we can find it two ways. We take a fib from this December or from this January high down to this low. And then you would take a look at the major fibs here. Then we take a trend-based fib, bottom of 1 to the top of 1, or to the top of 3 and down to the bottom of our wave 4. See if there's any confluence. And yeah, here, here, and here. So this would be your TP1. TP2, and then you have your TP3 up here. Yep, this is Sui. Coming up for a wave 5. RHECO. No, bro, the bull market's not over. I think we bottomed. Let's take a look at exit strategy for XRP. Exit strategy is in the Discord, bro. So if you haven't joined, then definitely click that link in the description below. Okay, let's take a look at AIOZ. Same thing as ETH. Reaccumulation at the highs. This is either reaccumulation or distribution, but it looks a lot like ETH. So I'm thinking this could have a continuation up. We'll take a look at it on the chart with more history. Right, this could be your WXY. Now, it's kind of hard to decipher the wave count on AIOZ, but I'm thinking this is a wave 1, 2. This is your third wave. This is your fourth, and we're coming up for a fifth wave like this. And then this is your reaccumulation structure. This is your invalidation level. Inval. We'll make this blue. Then what we can do is take a fib from the high of the range down to the low of the range. And take a look at all of these major fibs here. But yeah, this is what I would be expecting on AIOZ. Maybe we can do a double top here. Maybe sweep it towards 368 to 424. Yeah, so lots of confluence around the 270 to 424 region. So you would ladder out at all of these fibs. Looks like Ethereum, right? With Ethereum, you had sideways like action at the highs. Ethereum is pushing up really nice right now. But yeah, this is AIOZ. No problem, man. Appreciate it. When do you expect a macro recession for all markets, and how are you protecting yourself? The best advice I can give you is to stay in cash, bro. Stay in cash after you cash out, of course. But we can take a look at one chart that has to do with the recession, or a recession indicator. It's called EAM, and now this is equities. Notice how it's above the 200-day moving average, and it's rallying really hard above it. But this is equities here. And equities is in Wyckoff distribution. And once equities approaches the $58 to $68 region, that would be considered your UTAD, or your upthrust after distribution. And I think it's going to be like a slingshot to the downside, going towards the 2030 to 2032, to the year of 2030 to 2032. So as we approach the August, September, October, like as we approach this region in time, then you should be watching out for sure. And you want to stay cash heavy. Like you want to be in cash, not financial advice. That's the best advice I can give you, is cash will be king. There's also gold. There's physical gold. I've never been a fan of paper gold or paper silver. I like the physical. And then there's also the DXY as well, right? So there's EAM, which is equities, and then there's also the DXY. So we got to keep our eye on the DXY. DXY is looking good. We called the bottom here in the Discord in August, September of 2024. And now I'm calling the top on the DXY. We have a very nice break of structure. We took out this trendline liquidity yesterday, and now we're seeing continuation down. Bullish validation is for us to see a daily close below 106.402. As soon as you get a daily close, and especially a weekly close below 106.402, then you know for sure it's coming down to 94. Because this looks like Wyckoff redistribution. So you have your first leg down, you go sideways, you sweep the range highs. In this case, we tap the 702 and the 618. we have a break of structure, and now we would see a move down. And when we take a look at the time cycles, that would be sitting around that same time, August, September, October. Now, I know we may see a little bit of a local top in March, April in the markets, but I think that ultimately August, September, October would be a turning point. We'll definitely have to alter, we'll have to alter the waves level for level, and we'll see as time goes on. But so far, my rough estimate would be around this region, August, September, October. Now, once we go below 106.402, we would be targeting the 200-day moving average at 104.89. And yeah, bearish on the DXY. Therefore, I'm still bullish on risk assets. Also bullish on equities, which is EAM right here. Bullish on equities for sure. Bullish on equities for now. And then we can also take a look at another thing like the Russell 2000. So let's take a look at the Russell. And yeah, this is the Russell right here. We came down to this 200-day moving average 5 times now. And total 3 also came down to the 200-day moving average. Right? So we can't forget about the Russell 2000. It's forming a huge ending diagonal structure. So this was our 3. This was your 4. And now we should have a 5 up here. This looks like it's an ending diagonal. Like that, right? We're holding above the 200-day moving average. So as long as we're holding above the 200-day moving average, the altcoin market should be okay. We can take a fib from the November 2021 high down to the low, and we'll take a look at all of these fibs here. So I'd be expecting a move to 3,000 to 3,200. And as we approach this upper region over here, that would be your danger zone for the crypto altcoin market. And then we would also want to take a look at where equities is. We would want to take a look at where DXY is. There's many moving parts to a well-rounded analysis. But yeah, definitely I definitely don't think that the bull run is over. All we were doing was just doing a check back before we have continuation to the upside. Now, I know a lot of ISO coins, they did front run the market, but all of the other coins didn't move at all. Actually, all of the other coins just came down for a check back to the lows of the range before we have that expansion to the upside. But yeah, I'm bullish on the Russell 2000, super bullish. And I'm bullish on equities and bearish on the DXY. So the bull run is definitely not over yet. Turbo. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Do you think meme coins are stealing liquidity from a true all season? No, I think that's that's just fugazi. I think meme coins are going to do well. They've always done well, meme coins, because people won't stop speculating on it. There'll always be people speculating on meme coins. I will be selling, yeah, I'll be selling, yeah, 95%, yeah, around there. 95% of my bag. There's no point in keeping too much once the top comes in. And okay, we'll take a look at Spell. Because I know this guy, I think he asked for it many times, but I didn't have time to do it. So we'll take a look at Spell here. And Spell looks really good. This is your equal high buy side liquidity. Notice how we tap this this horizontal trendline resistance 3 times, but we failed to get above it. So I think that the next time will be a full-on breakout. This is your EQH BSL. We're holding above the 200-day moving average, so we should be good for a move up. We'll take a look here at the historical chart. This is the historical chart. You see, we've been within this range on Spell for over 1,000 days now. So 1,000 days of accumulation at the lows. These are all of your Fibonacci retracement levels to the downside. Right here. And then what we can also do is take a fib from the highest recorded price in the range down to the low. And we'll take a look at all of these retracement levels. Or sorry, the extension levels. Okay, so this will be a huge TP right here. Okay, so this is your TP. I would say this is your TP1. We'll put this as TP2, and then we have a TP3 up here. I really do think that altcoins are going to have a really nice expansion to the upside very soon. Okay, this is Spell right here. We have liquidity resting above these highs here at 0.0017. Plus, we've also been within accumulation for over 1,000 days. We're above the 200-day moving average, but don't be fearful if price comes down to any of these retracements before continuing on higher. But ultimately, I would be expecting expansion above this range towards 0.036 and 0.004. And then another big TP would be 0.0058 to 0.0067. From current prices, that would be it'd be about a 6x to TP2 and 3.6x to TP1. But yeah, looking pretty good here for Spell. Let's see if there's any inefficiency on the monthly time frame. No inefficiency yet. No inefficiency. Let's take a look at the weekly. Yeah, so there's this weekly fair value gap right here, right at TP3. Okay. So lots of confluence here as well. But yeah, this spell looks pretty good. So I do expect chop around this region, but what we're seeing right now is we're seeing a move out of the chop. Like when we take a look at ETH, for example, like ETH was just chopping at the lows. We had a lot of coins chopping at the lows, but now I see that we're starting to get things rolling here, right? It's trending up right now. We were trending sideways, so we had our low, we had our initial advance, and then we trended sideways for 9 days. So a little bit over a week, but now we're seeing things starting to trend up. So it should move fast. It should start to move faster. Matic. Yeah, we'll take a look at Matic for sure. This is Matic. Okay, so this is Matic over here. We had our wave 1, a simple wave 2. We had our third wave to the upside with a truncation of the fifth wave, a WXY correction, or what looks to be like a WXY correction. And I really like how we slightly swept this low with this wick. Now, what we'll go on a clean chart on Matic. And these are your support levels right here. And like I said, I really like how we swept some important lows here. This is the June 2022 low before we went up by over 340%. And notice how we swept it. We swept it twice with these guys over here. So when price goes below an important low, you have a lot of new shorts opening up. A lot of new shorts opening up as price goes below this low, and those shorts are likely to be liquidated. I expect to move back up to the 200-day moving average at 0.43. And then once you get a daily close back above the 200-day moving average, then we can for sure say that we're off to the races. But yeah, I really like how we swept this low. We swept it 2 times here. And then we also slightly swept this low as well. So let's go back to our Matic chart over here. This is the long-term chart on Matic. You have to be careful with Matic because it's still at the lows. So if you're gonna do leverage trading on Matic, I wouldn't recommend anything above 2x leverage. I wouldn't recommend it because it's very choppy right now. This is the 3-day time frame, and these are all of your take profit levels. All I did to find the take profit levels is I took a fib from the all-time high down to our low, and this would be your TP1, TP2, and TP3. It's likely we will head towards the TP3 for our peak at $11. Matic has been in accumulation for over almost 1,400 days of accumulation on Matic. Now, I know a lot of people who say this coin is a dead coin, but if it was a dead coin, it wouldn't stay up like this. It wouldn't stay up within this region. If it was dead, it would just continue on downwards. Right? This is your Wyckoff reaccumulation. This is your creek. This is your creek. And now we need a jump across the creek. So it's likely we have your jump across the creek for your SOS, your backup phase, and then continuation higher. And then we go into the bear market. Now this analysis isn't regarding time, just solely price based. But yeah, this is pure Wyckoff reaccumulation. Let's take a look at it here. You see? You have your creek. Very painful and long experience for holders. They don't really know what's happening. They think it's a dead coin. Then you come down and you sweep a very important low at the range lows. And then all of a sudden, you have a very rapid rise to the upside for what's called your jump across the creek. You have your breakout above the range, your back up, and then continuation. And we see the exact same thing here for Matic. We can, yeah, this is Matic, and we'll take a look at the volume profile here on Matic. Trying to find a full-on chart here for Matic. Can't find it. Oh, here it is. Okay, yeah. So we'll take a look at the volume profile here. So yeah, I expect to move back up to this point of control. Sitting at 88 cent. So about a little, about a 3x. Move back up to this point POC. And then eventually this value area high at $1.73. But yeah, Matic looks really good. Really, really nice Wyckoff reaccumulation schematic. It looks like we've just finished the spring after our creek. And now we're going to have a jump across the creek, which is this guy right here. Haven't done QNT yet, bro. But before we take a look at, pretty much aligns with my own views. Nice. Okay. Yeah, so we'll take a look at most wanted on the PulseChain network, and then we'll take a look at QNT. We'll also take a look at Solana as well. I have a really nice chart on Solana. So this is most. And we're breaking out. Just like I showed in my, we're about to break out. Just like I showed in the previous stream. This is just reaccumulation at the lows. Okay. This is your reaccumulation at the lows. This is your wave 2. Your wave 3 should come here. I see a move to 60 cent. 39 to 60 cent with the possibility of a throw over of this trendline resistance to 81 to 93 cents. So from current prices towards the conservative target, we would be looking at 6x. Right? Okay, so 6 to 10x from here. Very, very safe target would be the 1.618 at 3, which would be 357%. Now, all I did to find these targets is I just took a fib from this high, so from the first peak of euphoria down to this accumulation low. Yep. Like I showed with Matic, right? Everything is pretty much Wyckoff accumulation. You can find Wyckoff accumulation on every single time frame. This is your creek. This is your creek. Notice how we're creaking down. And now what we're having is what's called a jump across the creek, right? This is your creek. And now we have a jump across the creek, right? Now we're having that jump across. So as I'm doing this live, we're having this jump across. This is a meme coin. Be super careful. Very, very high risk, high reward. Bullish invalidation would be to see a move back below the 50%. But so far, this looks pretty good. It actually reminds me of P-die structure or teddy bear. The reason these coins have the same structure is because you have the same investor sentiment, right? But yeah, this is Most. Super bullish on Most. I think it's going to have a nice expansion to the upside. And then as the price approaches these targets over here, you would want to pull out your RSI and see if there's any bearish divergence from this high up to this high. And then you would ladder out all up here. But yeah, super bullish on Most. Pip, could you please take a look at Bake? Sure, let's take a look at Bake. Now, Bake, same investor sentiment as Cake. Looks like it's going to come up for a wave 5 right now. Let me see here. Let's see on the 3-day time frame where it hit. Came down to the 886, 786. This looks to be a wave 1 or A. This is your A, B, C, or your WXY down for your wave 2 or B. And now we're starting our next leg to the upside for your 3 or C. When we go on the 4-hour time frame, this looks like a wave 1, 2. This is your 3rd, 4th, and then we're going to have a 5th wave. These would be the retracement levels for your 4th wave right here. Yeah, so around here. Now, let's see if it tapped anything on the log scale. But yeah, we came just shy of the 618 here. If we see a move back above this 200-day moving average at 26 cent, then it's likely we're going to come up for this wave 5. Yeah, Bake looks really good. This is your accumulation. This is your manipulation. And now we have expansion. So we have a very nice power of 3 setup over here. Right? Remember what I said in my last live? Accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. Then we're probably going to see a little bit of a throwback or check back from there, from the range highs, before we continue on higher. So yeah, I see a move to $1.40 at the 618. Invalidation is for us to see a move back below 19 cent. Like if you get a daily close below 19 cent, then yeah, we'd have to reanalyze. But so far, this looks like a really nice power of 3 setup. We can take a fib from this high down to this low as well. And we'll take a look at all the major fibs here. Yeah, so we have a lot of confluence there at the 618 at $1.36 to $1.40. So these would be your TP levels here. TP2 and then your TP3. Okay. And then for the small time frame, like I showed you, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we need a 5th wave up there. For your subwaves, for the small time frame, but this is a very good swing trade that you guys could take because we have this power of 3 set up. And then this would be your bullish invalidation level. If we get a daily close back below that level. Looks good so far. So I'm thinking this is your A wave, B wave, and then you have your C wave up like this, or it's a wave 1, 2, 3. And then if you want to find even more confluence, you could take a trend-based fib to this. But yeah, these are the targets for Bake. Really bullish on Bake. I like how we had a sweep of this established range low, and now we're seeing a move back into this range with a potential impulsive setup on our hands. But yeah, that's Bake. Looks pretty good. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. Yeah, we'll take a look at QNT for sure. Now we take a look at QNT on every stream. That's what I've noticed, because a lot of people like QNT. QNT's looking good. We called the bottom on the last stream. Wave 1, wave 2, and now it looks like we're coming up for a wave 3, like this. If we go on the daily time frame for QNT, like I say, this is just pure Wyckoff reaccumulation. Like I showed you guys over here. You have your ABC correction down from 2021. You have your sweep of range highs, your retraction back into the range where retail traders accumulate. Composite operator drives the price down below the established range. All of the retail traders who bought within here sell over here. That's where all the smart money buys. So you have a sweep of range highs, sweep of range lows, a move back into the range, up to the range high. Everyone goes long here thinking it's going to continue on higher, only to be met with a check back before continuation. And this check back on QNT was the 200-day moving average. Look at the, you see how we came down to the 200-day? We came down to the 200-day right here. Had a nice wick fill to the 50% fib. And yeah, this is your ABC. We're going to see chop within this region, so be very careful longing this. Right? Don't use too high leverage, like don't put your leverage too high. I personally I don't really go over 2x leverage, because the wicks in crypto are enough to take you out if you go anything above it. Really. Like look at this wick right here. That's a 7% wick. So if you did 10x leverage, 77% of your trading account would be gone. If you did 2x leverage, only 14% would be gone. Right? The lower leverage you do, the more space you give yourself for a winning trade. Right? Look at this wick over here. Right? 8%, 8.4%. The wicks are crazy in crypto, and the reason most people lose in crypto when they're futures trading is because their leverage is way too high. 10x leverage is crazy. I mean, you can get a sniper entry for sure, no doubt about it, and you can make some crazy gains, but if you're going to be doing high leverage, like anything over 3 or 5x, then you want to just be in and out. That's what I would recommend. Just be in and out. But if you're gonna do like if you want to hold a position for longer, do 2x leverage. And then anything above 2x, like your risk level increases from there. Really nice price action here on QNT. Really nice price action. I like how it's holding this structural support, or this previous structural resistance as support. Looks really good. Let's go on the 2-day time frame and we'll check out the take profit targets. And I still have my eyes set at 1,000, 1,400, and 1,600. And that would just simply be the 1.618, 2.618, 3.618, and 4.236% extension measured from the all-time high down to the bear market low. Now, this chart is accounting strictly for price, but not time. So yeah, you may see this go into 2026, but just know that this chart is just showing the price targets. I think we take out this internal range liquidity right over here. That was set on October 2022, with our draw on liquidity being the 618 at 277. See a little bit of a check back from there before continuing on higher to then take out our external range liquidity, sitting at 422, which was set in 2021. And then this is where you should be taking profits. 658, 1000, 1420, and 1655. And save just a little bit of QNT just in case it hits 2K. Just in case we have a little bit of an overthrow or a throw over. Save some QNT. Always save some coins for a moon bag, right? But these are the targets. These are reasonable targets for QNT. 658, you definitely want to take profit there, not financial advice, because that's the 1.618. And from current prices, that would be about a 7x. Now the thing about QNT is that it likes to move alone. It likes to take its time. But when it goes, it doesn't stop. It goes really fast. But yeah, this is QNT. Really bullish on QNT. I've always been bullish on QNT. I think it's a really nice structure. We may form some broadening top formation over here. This was your leading diagonal for your wave 1, your ABC for your wave 2, your third wave, your fourth, and now we come up for a fifth. And it will likely be some type of broadening top formation here. We'll see how it plays out level for level. But basically, this is what QNT is doing. You guys can pause the video and take a screenshot of this. And this is where we are on QNT. We're at this stage right here. We're at the check back. The check back is finished. Now we're just grinding our way up. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Yeah, we'll take a look at Filecoin. Now, I'm super bullish on Filecoin. I've always been bullish on Filecoin, but I don't think I've ever been this bullish on Filecoin. I think it's the most bullish it ever has been, to be honest, because it looks like we finished the spring. So we'll go here. This is Filecoin. Pure Wyckoff accumulation for almost 3 years. I'll walk you along this schematic. So we had our preliminary supply. You have your selling climax, which is right here. You have your automatic rally. Your secondary test. Your failed breakout. Your secondary test in phase B, sweeping your secondary test lows. Then you have your second failed breakout. Then you come down to make a new low for your spring. But before you do that, you have what's called a creek. So you creek to the downside. This is your creek. And this is your new low that's set for your spring. This is your spring. Right? And now we're going to have that expansion to the upside. Okay? So yeah. TP1 would be sitting at 13.9 cent to 17 cent. TP2 is at 23, sorry, not cent, $13.9 to $17. TP2 is $23 to $26. TP4 is 35 to 59 bucks. Okay? Really bullish on Filecoin, and look what we also have here on Filecoin. We swept this low, so that's your sell side liquidity being swept. And then we also have divergence on the indicator, an equal low with the RSI dipping into oversold territory below 29, and the 3-day time frame has hidden bullish divergence. Or no, this is, yeah, bullish divergence. Lower low on the price, higher low on the RSI. Looking pretty good. Looking really good on the 3-day as well. Same thing that all the other coins are doing, right? Same thing. How we have our first advance. You have your consolidation. And now we're having continuation. I think the next interim target on Filecoin would be sitting at $4.41, which would be the 200-day moving average. It would also be the median of this 1,000-day long range. As soon as you get above the median or the 200-day moving average, then we could say we're off to the races, and we're going to have that expansion to the upside. But yeah, super bullish on Filecoin. We can take a look here at the MACD, see if there's any momentum building up. Yeah, so like on the 2-day time frame, it's slowly turning. On the daily, it's turning already here. So yeah, it's looking good. Let's take a look at the stock RSI on the 3-day. And look at that stock RSI right at the lows. Right at the lows on the stock. Now, the good thing about the stock RSI is that it only has one high and one low. There's only one high level and there's only one low level, and look where we are right now. We're at the absolute low right here. So yeah, I think Filecoin is ready for expansion, but we're gonna have that slow grind up, so be super careful over leveraging. But yeah, 35 to 23 to 26, and then 35 to 41. These are the 3 TP levels right here. Do any altcoin charts look like complete trash? Ones that have broken Wyckoff structure, or ones you think will perform horribly? I don't know. I think there's one. I think one of the coins went bankrupt, and I forgot which coin it was, but one of the coins went, like, the team went bankrupt, and it looked kind of bearish. There was that coin, and there was another coin. I can't think of it. But yeah, we'll take a look at XTC. XTC is super bullish. This was just a wave 4. We had a Wick fill to the 38.2% fib. Let's remove this guy. This is XDC. Came down to the 618, 702. This was your break of structure right here. See how we swept the high? We swept the August 2023 high. Came down for a check back. And now we're continuing on up. Next target would be sitting at 29 cents. So that would be about a 3x from here, with the possibility of us hitting the 2.618 at 46 cents. Now all I did to find these targets is I just took a fib from the high of the range down to the low of the range. But yeah, XDC looks fine. As long as these lows can hold on XDC. If these lows can't hold on XDC, then that would be bearish. But the lows are holding. The lows are holding fine. I noticed like all of the ISO coins, all of the coins that have to do with finance, right? Like the XRP type coins, XLM type coins, Algo, XDC, all those coins are going to perform well. But yeah, from here on XDC, I would be expecting a sweep of these range highs at 19 cent towards the 1.618 at 30 cent. So you're going to want to take profit here, not financial advice, and you want to leave some coins aside just in case we hit 46 cent. Then you want to leave a moon bag. You want to leave a moon bag aside just in case we go this high to 63 to 74. But these two levels would be your major TP levels, your major take profit levels. You can also take a look at the 1.786. So yeah, 29 to 32 cent. Okay. These are your Fibonacci retracement levels right here. But yeah, XDC looking good as long as these lows can hold. Matic looks good. Yeah, it does look good, eh? You had your, like I was showing with Matic. Matic looks really good. Like from a Wyckoff perspective, Matic, it looks really nice. This is your creek. So this is your macro range, right? This is your creek, your spring, and now we have to have a jump across the creek. Same thing. Creek, spring, jump across the creek. Now usually at your spring, especially when you make a new low, this is where the sentiment is so bad. I've never seen sentiment this bad on Matic. And look what we did. We swept this low with these two guys right here. And we swept this low. So it's literally like a spitting image of Wyckoff reaccumulation. And then you have almost 1,400 days of accumulation. I did Algo. Algo is super bullish. I have a very clear picture of Algo. I did DGB as well. So KDA is Wyckoff accumulation, not distribution. Wyckoff distribution usually happens at the highs. We'll take a look at KDA. It's the exact same thing as Cake. You see? KDA is Wyckoff accumulation at the lows. This is almost 3 years of accumulation. Now we're likely to come up to take out this equal high buy side liquidity, sitting at $1.96 towards our TP1 at 470 to 740. Notice how he went down by 80%. That's 80% down from the December high. To short here after an 80% move down, it would be very dangerous. Right? This is your spring, and then this is your test, and then we're going to have our last point of support. Cake is no different. Cake has done the same thing. Sideways range bound like price action. And how far did we drop down? Drop down around 80%, 74%. KDA is good. I like that coin. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Super bullish on IOTA. You know, I'm very bullish on IOTA. Oh, is XRP pumping? Let's check out XRP. Damn, nice. Let's go. We called the bottom in the live stream. 2 live streams ago, we called the bottom. And we're up about... We're up over 20%. So now I'd be expecting $2.93 to $2.97 to get hit, with the possibility of wicking to $3. And then we may see a retrace from there. We may see a retrace. We'll have to alter these waves as the price develops, because remember, Elliott wave is not down to a science, it's just a risk management tool. But yeah, expecting a move to $2.91 and $3 from here. Then we come down for an ABC. Then you have another ABC up, come down for a wave 2 before continuing on higher. This looks like a leading diagonal. Now, like I said in my last stream, this is either a diagonal structure or it's a straight impulsive move to the upside, where this is your wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we continue on up very aggressively. But going forward, we would want to see a 4-hour close above $3.04, which would be the 78.6% fib when we take a fib from this high in December down to this low in February. Okay. Congrats to anyone who took the Trump trade. I put Trump out yesterday, I think it was 2 days ago, and we went up over 67%. It's pretty crazy. So this is Trump right here. I like this coin. This looks like a wave 1, a wave 2. You have your third wave coming down for a fourth wave to any of these Fibonacci retracement levels. So yeah, I'd be expecting a fourth wave to come down to any of these levels before continuing on higher towards our macro fib resistance levels. So I think a move to $51 makes sense. XLM, I did XLM in this live stream. Or no, I did it. Is it officially alt season yet? Yeah. It's the bottom. What's up? We'll take a look at IOTA. Now IOTA, it's the exact same thing as Sui. And it's likely going to see a breakout towards $1.96, $3.94, and $6.31. Moonbeam looks pretty good. Nice Wyckoff spring here. But yeah, I'll show you the similarities of IOTA and Sui. Okay, so this is your peak on IOTA, and this is your peak on Sui. We come from the bear market, so we come from making lower lows and lower highs, and then we have our low. This is your low right here. This is your low right here. Then we have a run to the upside, or your first leg in the market, and then you top out. We have our first leg in the market on IOTA, and then we top out. Then we go in for a pretty long correction after that. Same thing as Sui, go in for a pretty long correction. Then we have what's called a break of structure. So if we look at Sui, we break above these highs, have a move down to the retracements before we go off to the races. Okay, we have the exact same thing here on IOTA. Break of structure, move down to the retracements before we have expansion to the upside. So yeah, $3.94 to $6.31, with the interim target being $1.96. Low leverage is anything above 3x leverage anything above 2x leverage on this coin is not recommended. Really nice ABC correction back down. This looks like your A, your B, and then your C wave. We can go on the 4-hour. And it'll look like this. This is your wave 1. This is your ABC for your wave 2. Now we're coming up for a wave 3 to the upside. Look where this 4.236% extension is when we take a fib from our December high down to our February low. The 4.236 is at that $2 region. And that $2 region is also the 786 when we take a fib from the all-time high down to the bear market low. So we have lots of confluence for our next target being $2. And then you'd also be breaking above this trend line resistance, or in other words, our trend line liquidity, considering We weren't able to get above it since 2017. We rejected off of it once, twice, 3 times, and the 4th time here. The 5th time is likely to see a breakout. Let's take a look at Solana. Very bullish on Solana. It's doing what's called Wyckoff reaccumulation, where you have accumulation at the highs, and we're just on the backup phase before we have continuation higher. Let's go on the weekly. This is Solana right here. Solana is holding the 21-week moving average. You can consider the subwaves to be divided into 3 waves, depending on how you want to look at it. But so far, super bullish on Solana. This is Wyckoff reaccumulation. This is your accumulation. This is your jump across the creek. This is your backup phase before we have continuation higher. You see? Yeah, really bullish on Solana. You see, this is where we are right now. We're on the LPS. So we backtest the top of the range before we have continuation up. And this is exactly what we did. Backtest the top of this accumulation range before we have continuation. Appreciate it, bro. Thank you for that. Is it over for ETH? Nah, bro. PulseX I did already. Do you ever use fractals to estimate prices? No, I don't. I use fibs. Let's take a look at ETH. No, ETH is looking fine. Wyckoff reaccumulation, nice WXY correction, 3-wave move within each of the waves here, and we have almost 1 year of reaccumulation, right? We've been within this reaccumulation structure for 344 days. It's very unlikely that we're going to see any lower. I mean, we could see chop at the lows, right? This is our manipulation zone, don't forget. Zooming in here on the small time frame, it looks totally fine. We had our first leg to the upside, consolidation within a broadening wedge formation, and it's likely we'll see a move up to at least the 50% fib here at 31.24. But it's going to be a grind to the upside. It's going to chop out a lot of traders that are using high leverage. So, yeah. I expect 7 to 9K to get hit. This is PulseX. PulseX is fine. Macro pennant. And we're going to have the breakout soon. We just so what I was saying with PulseX at the beginning of the video, we don't want to see a move. Bulls don't want to see a move below 403.113. And we want to get back above this region at 4.4635. But yeah, it looks really good for PulseX. How do you overlay market cap charts over price charts? XRP at 280? Let's take a look. I love XRP. Let's go. Yeah, it's coming up. It's coming up. Next target is 291 and $3.04. We should find some resistance there. We may see an ABC correction down, but so far I would be expecting 291 to $3.04, and then depending on how the price reacts from here, we'll get more of a clear wave count. But yeah, I expect it to go higher. This is the 5-minute time frame. Yep, 292 to $3. Looks really nice on the 4-hour. Very, very nice. No problem, bro. The 5-minute wick is looking scary. Yeah, because it's 5-minute time frame, but stay on the 4-hour. I already took a look at QNT. Oh, DAG. Yeah, I want to show you guys Constellation. I did DAG for my members in the Discord. This is DAG. This is what I think for DAG. Looks like a macro leading diagonal pattern. It's holding the 618 really nice, and it came just shy of the 200-day moving average. So we should end the stream. We should end the stream soon. I'm just going to take a look at a few other coins here, and then we'll end the stream, and we'll probably do another stream on Sunday around the same time. So what coin should we do next? Let's check up on Cake. Songbird. PayPal. Yeah. I remember one of One guy asked me to do PayPal in my direct messages on Twitter. I think it was like 3 or 4 months ago. But I never got back to him. So yeah, I'll do PayPal. Or we'll do it in the next stream. Let me see. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Okay, let's take a look at PayPal and then we'll take a look at BCH. Casper as well. PayPal is really good. I really like how it came down to the 200-day moving average right here. This looks like a wave 1, right? This is your wave 1. You have your WXY for your wave 2, your third wave, fourth. Now we're going to come up for a fifth wave here. This is just a sub-wave count. I think we're going to fill this gap right here. We're going to fill this gap at 139 to 155. This bullish divergence on the weekly marked your bottom on PayPal. Yeah, PayPal, I think the macro bottom is in on PayPal. 2, 3, 4, 5. We just need this 200-day moving average to hold. So as long as price can stay above this 200-day moving average on PayPal, then we should be okay. We should be okay to fill this gap over here. Boom. Yeah, PayPal looks good. Looks like a healthy market structure. This could have been your A, B. This is your C wave. This is your wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have a ending diagonal within the fifth wave. Worst case scenario, this is a third wave. We came up for a fourth, and now we come down for a fifth to make a new low. But as long as the 200-day moving average holds, we should be okay. This is your 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for your ending diagonal. Like that, you see? Then we had a little bit of a throw over with this guy right here. And now we've went from making lower lows and lower highs to higher lows and higher highs. So yeah, it looks pretty good. That's PayPal, and then yeah, I know. I called the bottom of Trump like right to the tick. So congrats to anyone who got some bids in on there. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Okay. Okay, before I go, we'll take a look at BCH and then we'll take a look at Total 3, okay? Because Total 3, okay, we'll take a look at BCH, Total 3, and then Bitcoin dominance. I think if we end the stream with those three, with those two coins, then or those two tickers, it would be pretty good. Let's take a look at BCH here. Bullish on BCH, I think we had an extension of the first wave. So if we go on the 12-hour time frame, we had a 5-wave move up, very extended wave 1. We had a move up towards trendline resistance that we've been using since 2017, right? Then we came down in a WXY formation, very similar correction to that of Ethereum, before we have our next push to the upside, which would likely take us around the $2,000 region, the $1,400 to $2,000 region. And then we have a shallow wave 4, and then a wave 5 up here. Now, as the price develops, the waves will become more accurate, but when we're just taking a look strictly at targets, we would be taking a look at the $1,400 to $2,000 region next. And that would also be the 786. That would also be around the 702 and the 786 when we take a fib from the all-time high down to the low. Yeah, so around the $1,400 to $2,000 region, it makes sense for the next point of interest. Let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance looking really good, right? We have our 5th wave. Our wave 5 of 5 has already come in here. 3-wave move up within each of the waves. And then if we go down to the 3-hour time frame, we have a break of structure. Remember in last stream I said if we go below 61.09%, that would be considered our break of structure, and we just got that. We got that yesterday, I think. So yeah, would be expecting a continued move down. Daily looks very bearish. And I would be expecting a move towards this weekly inefficiency here at the 70.2 to 78.6% fib, sitting at 46.43% to 44.28%. Notice how we have this huge gap over here. This is your inversion fair value gap on the weekly time frame. So I think we hit it. And then this move over here, that would be considered your altcoin season. This move here. Let's take a look at total 3. Very important chart to watch. Notice how we came down to the 200-day moving average, very similar to that of the Russell 2000. You see how we came down to the 200-day? The Russell 2000 did the same thing. But yeah, I do expect 1.7 to 1.8 trillion to get hit for our potential peak. We have a clear 5-wave move to the upside, and right now we're doing wave 5 of 5, which will likely be a extension of the 5th wave. And it'll likely be a wave 5 extension because it's going to be a blow off top. But yeah, 1.7 to 1.8 trillion, that's where you want to be careful. You want to be very careful as we approach 1.7, 1.8. Because that would also be the 4.236 measured from our March high down to our August low. The 4.236 extension. Okay, and then that would also be the 1.618 to 1.786 extension from the 2021 high down to the bear market low. So 1.68, 1.8 trillion, that's super overheated. But we'll see how the price plays out, right? We'll alter these waves as the price develops, and I'll definitely make sure to keep you guys updated. I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream today. I should be doing another one on Sunday around the same time. Peace out and take it easy. See you in the next one, guys.